Topuria goes out and tweets, if I were to face Terence Crawford in boxing, I would put him to sleep. Now, this was after Terence Crawford went on the Nelk Boys podcast. Kyle said, who do you think the best boxer in the UFC is? Have you seen Ilia? He goes, oh, no, it's easily Cody Garbrandt.
Have you seen Topuria? Have you seen his fights recently?
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Cody got them hands.
Obviously, Ilia, that's probably maybe ignited a beef, and Terence Crawford is wrong. Ilia Topuria is the best boxer in the UFC. Does this eventually set up an Ilia into boxing?
If Ilia does go on and knock out 2-3 more people, he could probably go and face a boxer.
Or, just fight Jake Paul. Either way.
Ilia Topuria couldn't help but laugh when he noticed what Terence Crawford had chosen as his walkout music on fight night. The UFC lightweight champion is famously known for entering to Cancun del Mariachi, and seeing Crawford use that very same tune caught him off guard. For Topuria, it wasn't just a coincidence, but almost a playful jab, considering Crawford had already taken shots at him in the past. He pointed out how first he was called a drunk, and then suddenly his signature walkout song echoed through the arena as Crawford made his entrance. Topuria felt like the American boxing star had stepped into his lane, and he made sure to throw a response back his way, promising that if they ever crossed paths, he'd show him how to really dance to that song in the ring. He even went a step further, adding that after Crawford, he would still have enough left in the tank to save a round for Canelo Alvarez.
Ilia Topuria walks out to that song in the UFC.
You said what?
Ilia Topuria walks out to that song in the UFC.
Did he? Oh, good. Good for him.
How do you feel you compare with Floyd with the resume you have now?
Listen, Floyd was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
Ilia Topuria could knock out Bud Crawford on first contact. Is there any truth to it? Why is it always the MMA guys gotta go box? It doesn't sell. James Toney and the UFC lost a whole bunch of money with him. If Ilia Topuria really could beat up Terence Crawford, why didn't he go into boxing? Ilia is our champion. After seeing Connor, who could not make an amateur Olympic team, go 30 minutes with Floyd, after seeing Francis Ngannou, who could not get a medal at the amateur, beat Tyson Fury according to one of the judges, I'll stand with Ilia. And how come it doesn't go the other way? And how come, if it's true, you didn't do it? Say whatever you want about Francis. Francis walked away from an active contract to pursue a dream that he believed to be true.
While his playful jab at Crawford was grabbing headlines, Topuria also opened up about his own dreams of crossing into the boxing world. The 28-year-old has been openly talking about testing himself beyond the octagon, and he's convinced that UFC boss Dana White will eventually allow it to happen. He admitted it wouldn't be simple, since Dana has traditionally been against letting UFC fighters take boxing matches outside the promotion. Still, Topuria insisted that this was something he genuinely wanted, something that felt like part of his destiny. He said he believed Dana would ultimately back him, not shut the door on him. In his eyes, with a little convincing, the UFC would stand behind his desire to step into the squared circle, especially given how much star power he carries for the company at the moment.
Who do you watch in the UFC that you think has the best boxing?
My guy, what's his name?
You seen Topuria's? Cody Garbrandt?
He the best UFC boxer.
Have you seen Topuria?
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Cody got them hands.
But Cody's not, like, I'm not on him, but he's not on the...
But I'm saying, we talking about straight boxing.
Straight boxing?
We ain't talking about nothing else. We talking about straight boxing skills. I just think Cody got the best boxing skill UFC. That's just my opinion.
So you think if there was one UFC fighter that would have any chance against you in the world, it'd be him?
No, he's too small. In the boxing ring? No.
While Topuria was plotting a crossover, another major voice in combat sports had his say on Crawford's unforgettable performance. Dimitri Bivol, the man who once defeated Canelo Alvarez in the light heavyweight division, summed up Crawford's showing in just a handful of words. Bivol praised what Crawford displayed in the ring, pointing out that the American had shown the full package of boxing: sharp technique, ring IQ, skill, and even the power needed to keep Canelo hesitant. Bivol didn't overcomplicate his thoughts, but made it clear that he respected the victory, calling it well earned and acknowledging that Crawford had lived up to the moment on the biggest of stages.
I told you. What did you just watch? I only speak the facts.
The win wasn't just any ordinary victory, it was historic. By beating Canelo at super middleweight, Crawford became the first male fighter in history to claim undisputed status in 3 different weight classes. The Omaha native, who began his championship journey down at lightweight, climbed through the divisions and proved that size and age weren't barriers. At 37 years old, making his debut at 168 pounds, Crawford controlled the fight and frustrated one of the most decorated fighters of this generation. The judges saw it 115 to 113 twice and 116 to 112, all for Crawford. That unanimous decision victory not only gave him Canelo's belts, but also confirmed what many already believed. He is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now. Another legendary name also weighed in, and this time it came with cash behind the words. Floyd Mayweather revealed that he had bet on Crawford to win the fight, staking $50,000 on his fellow American. The bet paid off handsomely, returning $124,000 when Crawford's hand was raised. For Mayweather, the outcome wasn't a surprise, having beaten Canelo himself back in 2013 when the Mexican was still young and on the rise. Mayweather seemed confident Crawford had the tools to do the same. What's interesting now is the comparison between the two greats. Mayweather retired with a flawless 50-0 record, while Crawford extended his unbeaten streak to 42-0 with this win. The gap is narrowing, though Crawford's age may prevent him from chasing the full 50-0 mark. Still, with performances like the one he just delivered, his place in history is already secure. The inevitable comparison between Crawford and Mayweather was brought up again after the fight, this time with Canelo himself providing the take. When asked to put the two side by side, the Mexican icon didn't hesitate. He said Crawford was better. For Canelo, Mayweather's win over him years ago came when he was not yet in his prime, but with Crawford, there was no excuse to hide behind. He entered the ring as an experienced champion, well prepared, and yet he still couldn't figure Crawford out. The fight was a clear reminder that Crawford's skill set today is something special, and Canelo didn't bother to argue against that reality. For him, Crawford was simply the better man in the ring, and in his eyes, better than the Mayweather who had once bested him.
If you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
At the post-fight press conference, Canelo's honesty continued. He didn't try to downplay the result or argue that he had done enough to earn the decision. Instead, he admitted straight away that Crawford deserved the win. He explained that he had trained hard, tried everything he could think of, but nothing worked against Crawford's unique style. The Mexican warrior emphasized that his opponent was complete in every area, and that was why he couldn't break through. It was a moment of humility from one of boxing's biggest stars, who usually doesn't like to admit defeat, but this time acknowledged he had been beaten fair and square.
Can you describe what it was like for you fighting Bud, what he was doing that was giving you the kind of problems that you couldn't really do enough to get what would have been, I guess, a close decision?
We knew Crawford is a great fighter. I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, trained really hard. He deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
What was his power like? Have you been hit by anybody that strong before?
I've been hit harder.
No, in a real fight, not a sparring.
In a real fight. Avanesian, I mean not Avanesian, but Mean Machine hit harder than Canelo to me. To be honest.
Terence.
Congratulations.
For Crawford, the fight also provided a moment to reflect on Canelo's power. Many believed stepping up to super middleweight would expose Crawford to punches that could overwhelm him, especially since Canelo had once knocked out Sergey Kovalev at light heavyweight with a single shot. But Crawford wasn't shaken. After the fight, he explained that he had actually been hit harder in the past. He admitted he expected Canelo's punches to carry more bite, but they didn't surprise him at all. While he respected Canelo's technical ability, the power simply wasn't what he had anticipated. That gave him even more confidence as the rounds went by, knowing he could handle what was coming his way.
Terence Crawford couldn't have an error to himself. And if you put Terence Crawford against any opponent on Floyd's resume, who do you have favorite? Terence Crawford or one of Floyd's opponents?
Why does Ryan keep mentioning another?
No, I'm asking the question first. Do we got Terence Bud Crawford beating everybody on Floyd's resume?
All of this unfolded during one of the biggest nights boxing has ever seen, an event that drew attention not only from the sport's loyal fans, but also from stars across MMA and beyond. UFC figurehead Dana White took on the role of boxing promoter for the first time, helping put together a card of massive scale. Even Conor McGregor made sure to share his thoughts after the dust settled. The Irish superstar congratulated Saudi advisor Turki Alalshek, who helped fund the mega event, as well as Crawford himself.
Bud Crawford is top 4 greatest fighters of all time. Do you understand how improbable this is? I thought Bud had no chance. I lost 20 grand. Not only is Terence Crawford on my Mount Rushmore, like I said, if he were to win, because the probability of him winning against all the odds, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see how at all. And the masterclass he put together, that guy, he can face anybody in history and be a problem. Him right there. Not only that, I think this cements the fact that everybody avoided him. This right here answers everything. Not only is Terence Bud Crawford on my Mount Rushmore, but everybody avoided him. And that sheds more light on how he beat Errol Spence.
For Crawford, the future now carries plenty of options, but also plenty of questions. He has ruled out moving back down to super welterweight, but a potential move to middleweight could be on the horizon. If he were to capture a world title there, it would fill the only gap in his astonishing run across divisions. From lightweight to welterweight, super lightweight to now super middleweight, he has left behind a trail of dominance. Securing a belt at middleweight would only strengthen any debate about whether he belongs alongside or even above Mayweather in boxing's all-time discussions.
You know, you said something about what fighters go through, and you've seen enough guys that the game is taken from. It's a hard game to get through. Can you get a better ending than tonight? I mean, really?
Not at all. Not at all. This is the top of the top. You know, Canelo is, you know, an all-time great. Like I said before, he's the last one.
He was the A side of the age.
There's no more Canelos, you know. So, there's no more. So, you know, when you look around, you say, I'm the Canelo. You know, I'm the face of boxing now. And I'm the best pound for pound fighter in the world, like I always been. You know, just gotta wait and see.
On the other hand, Canelo now holds 3 career defeats. The loss to Mayweather back in 2013, the setback against Bivol in 2022, and now the defeat to Crawford in 2025 mark the only blemishes on a resume otherwise stacked with championships and victories. While a rematch with Crawford is always a possibility, the question remains whether that fight is truly needed. Crawford doesn't appear to need it, as he has already made history and doesn't gain much by repeating the feat. Canelo, however, may push for it as a way to reclaim pride in his belts. Though whether he could solve the puzzle Crawford presented is another matter entirely.
Sometimes you try and your body cannot go. That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body just not let me go.
What is certain is that Crawford has once again shaken up the entire landscape of combat sports. From Ilia Topuria teasing him about stealing his walkout song, to Dmitry Bivol saluting his all-around performance, to Mayweather cashing in on his victory, the night was packed with storylines. Even Conor McGregor found a way to be part of it, adding to the crossover between MMA and boxing. Crawford not only etched his name deeper into the history books, but also managed to stir reactions across different corners of the fight world. And with Canelo openly admitting he was beaten by the better man, there can be no denying that Crawford is at the very top of boxing's mountain right now.